I don't want you to waste your time. If you want to be a creator or you are trying to be a successful creator right now, you have to listen to this video because I'm going to spill things that I have not seen anyone talk about, because a lot of those creator channels out there about how to become a YouTuber, how to become a TikToker, etc., some of the things they say are for their own benefit, which of course is understandable, but I'm going to give you some truths today that might be controversial because I wasted a ton of time in my over 2 years of struggling to become a YouTuber before I got any kind of success, and now I currently have over 480,000 subscribers on my main channel, and on this podcast channel I talk more in depth about concepts, creating, how to make your best life. Even this podcast channel, I made this, maybe 6 months ago, started posting just a few months ago, and I've already gained 30,000 plus of you lovely people. So I definitely understand what I'm talking about when it comes to, some forms of success on creating. So this will be helpful to you no matter what stage of creating you're in. Even if you have not started creating, this will really help inform you if creating is even a thing for you. Because guess what? Being a creator is one of, if not the top desired job in our generation. And I posted a community poll on this podcast channel, and 74% of you said you want to see content about how to become a creator, as from my experience, because I learned so many lessons that no one told me when I was doing research on how to be a YouTuber. And believe me, I spent so many months, hours each day just poring over advice video after advice video. Okay, so today is not going to cover, of course, everything because there's a ton, but let me know if you do like this because that will inform if I continue making this kind of content. If you are here from my usual life advice content, not to worry, because creating is honestly something that requires a lot of holistic skills and habits. So by learning how to build your own business and how to inspire others, you can inspire yourself and those around you as well to live your A+ life. And one more caveat before I jump into the information. If you are looking to be a creator specifically, don't write off the life advice I have on the rest of this podcast, because most people do not have business problems. They have personal problems that affect their business. Alex Hormozy. And Alex Hormozy is an extremely successful entrepreneur and creator. So what I'm trying to say is creating, being entrepreneurial, thinking of things holistically with the right mindsets is going to take you far, no matter what area. My content about being a creator and how to live your best life, these go hand in hand with holistic habits and mindsets. And let's face it, if you want to put yourself out there to gain thousands of views, millions of views, if that's your hope, then you are going to need some resilience, ability to be confident, ability to problem solve, and stay driven, which I talk about on the rest of my podcast. That's actually a perfect segue into my first point of how to be a creator. It is more mindset than anything else, because you see, success when you're a creator only comes when you act insane. And acting insane means that you keep trying to make content even when every single thing is flopping. To any other person who's not a creator, that looks insane. Like me, I poured in 20 hours into a single video that got 500 views. But like an insane person, I didn't get too sad about it. I was so focused on how I can make the next video better. I didn't dwell on it at all. My mind was just so focused on my purpose that I was no longer fazed or thought like a normal consumer. You have to completely flip the switch to understand that what you're going to try to be a successful creator is highly desired for a reason. That means it has great payoffs. You get to spread a message and help other people in the world. These things are all fitting for someone who is incredible, right? To get incredible opportunities, to get brand deals. That is all fitting for someone who deserves it. Because if everyone in the world can easily get rich, then everyone would get rich, right? So that's the first number one thing to understand. It's not going to be a walk in the park and you make one TikTok a day and then suddenly you're this famous creator who gets to go on brand trips and get sponsorships. If you think that way, you're not going to make it because nothing good comes easy. I swear, nothing good comes easy. All of my creator friends, they grind a ton more proactively than the average person, right? Their hours might be the same as someone who has a corporate job, but guess what? They're making themselves do that. Do you have that level of discipline and are you ready to do that? That's what you have to ask yourself before you really decide if you're going to become a creator. I really had that determination that if I'm going to go for a pursuit, I'm 100% all in. If you want to be a successful content creator, you're essentially saying, I want to be extraordinary. Because content creators get extraordinary opportunities. That's why that job is so desired, right? So if you want to get extraordinary things, like brand deals, be able to speak on camera and inspire other people for income, then you, gosh darn it, better well be an extraordinary person. You better do extraordinary things. And that action comes as a result of the right mindset. Because anyone can pick up a camera and film themselves and talk. But not everyone has the right mindset to do that over and over and over again before there's any visible sign of progress. There's a bit of delulu, as people say nowadays, that you really have to have, because visionaries are called visionaries for a reason. They have the vision to see what's possible in the future when everyone else cannot see it. You have to be able to see the result before it even comes true. So what about having the support of a YouTube course or some kind of YouTube community that you can pay for? You know, a lot of those are being sold now. If this is so hard, maybe I need a course or a community to make it easier so I don't have to figure everything out on my own. That way I can figure out, maybe the best thumbnails and video topics and ideas and how to grab people's attention. Okay, so that's something you might have considered or thought about if you, like me, are struggling to become a creator. Well, here we get to my controversial opinion. If you need someone to handhold you and to lay out all the advice on a silver platter, you're probably not someone who's going to make it. If you need that to make it, you will not make it because the people who make it don't need a course to make it. There's a ton of free informational out there, and a creator, the most successful kind, is entrepreneurial. Entrepreneurial people are super resourceful with what they have and know that their wealth of information out there for free is all they need. And truly, even though I struggled in the beginning of my YouTube journey, that free information on the technical things of like setting up a camera, how to make a great thumbnail, all those things, that is all the information that was necessary for me to get to where I am today. The extra lessons I learned along the way, those are not actually covered in those YouTube courses. Those YouTube courses are generally pretty basic, and as people say on Reddit, cover the things that you can already find online. I'm going to use YouTuber as an example because YouTube long form is probably the hardest. So by using YouTube as an example, then you can apply this to like Instagram, TikTok, whatever, right? So when you're a YouTuber, you have to set your own schedule and you have to know, okay, I need to film this. I need to plan when I'm going to script, then edit it or get an editor. I need to create my own statements of work. I need to optimize this system such that I can consistently roll out a quality video. And I also need to iterate based on feedback. You have to create this system for yourself and optimize this process. Then you need to detect yourself and problem solve. Where can I find efficiencies? Because creating a single video is such a time-consuming process. So if you have the ability to systematize that, then you can also synthesize the free information available on the internet. You do not need a course to be successful. On the community aspect with having, an accountability partner, I heard some of these courses, they pair you up with this accountability partner saying like, have you posted today? Oh, let's make sure we post together every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever it is. So let me ask you this. If you see a really successful YouTuber out there, say like 1 million subscribers, and you listen to their interview, someone asks them, hey John, what would you say is one of the biggest contributions to your YouTube success? John goes, oh my gosh, yeah, I remember back in the day, I hated posting every day. I could barely do it. I was so unmotivated. So I needed an accountability partner, and Bob just really got me through it, I wasn't willing to keep myself accountable to stay up and post the videos, so Bob just really helped me get it done, the accountability partner. I don't think that's the response we would want from someone successful, right? Generally, the successful people who make a positive impact and who really have made it, they wanted it. They wanted it so much that they were driven, and like me, they would wake up at 4 a.m. to finish a video when they had no one telling them to. I wanted to continue working even if I finished my consulting job for the day. Consulting is already a super time-consuming job, but you know what? Even if I knew my peers after work, they were watching a show, I didn't care. I don't need someone out there to be working as hard as I am to affirm the hard work I'm putting in. I was so mission-driven and just craving to get my voice and stories and helpful messages out there to reach more people, that's what got me to post a video consistently. The top reason cannot be an accountability partner. And thus, if you think you need an accountability partner, that shows that's critical to your success, right? But if that's critical to your success, that means your mission is not strong enough to get you to keep making content. And your mission, your North Star, doesn't have to be helping students like mine was. It can also be helping your parents retire. That is a mission of many of my Asian immigrant friends here. One of my friends, his parents own a nail salon. So every day for like 10 hours a day, they're working in that nail salon doing manual labor amidst the poisonous fumes, and that's what drives him to the point like, oh my gosh, I need to do something. And that is his mission that pushed him to post every day, right? You shouldn't need an accountability partner. Your mission can also be multifaceted. Like me, it was to help students. My friend with the parents' nail salon, he actually helps students as well. And part of my goal is also to be able to treat my family, because the majority of my family is back in China and they could not experience the great blessings that I have today. So I want to be able to support them. I do want to acknowledge that if you're a super busy person and you have low capacity to search the advice and use the disparate information out there in YouTube videos yourself, then yes, taking a YouTube course, having some structured consolidation of the basic advice could be helpful. And okay, actually, that opinion turns out is not the most controversial. I think it's just controversial coming from someone giving YouTube advice like I am in this video, because I've seen several comments under other YouTube videos about courses saying like if you need a course to succeed, then you probably won't. So all that to say is, I'm not crazy. Really search deep, dig deep, and think about why you want to be a creator, because it cannot be, oh, I would love to be able to talk about myself to a camera and then get paid for it. I mean, who doesn't want that? Then I can be my own boss, work my own hours. I can get brand deals, brand trips. Oh my gosh, look at all the free stuff people are getting. I want PR from Saint Laurent. Yeah, I'm sure many people would like that life. But the world is fair, right? Like, why would you deserve that, It definitely has to be hard. Like, even the lifestyle creators out there, maybe you watch a video and you're just like, whatever, I could do that. But no, like, really try doing it, right? Like, I'm not saying creating is some like really hard job and comparing it to like other jobs. But what I'm saying is like everything comes at a price, right? And it's all about understanding that it's not a walk in the park, that you have to pay a price. And the only way you're going to succeed in paying that price is if you understand that there is a price up front. You cannot want to become a YouTuber for the sake of becoming a YouTuber. Right now, the key to stand out in this very saturated space is if you have something to say and you have to be the one who says it. If you have that reason in the first place, that's what makes you stand out, Because if your thinking was, I want to share my life, well, thousands of people want to share their life, right? But what's going to make you stand out? You have to already think, hey, I have this to say. I am burning to say it, and I have to be the one who says it because X, Y, Z. Maybe you have some life experience that can give hope to other people who are just a couple steps behind you. That is the value, and that is some way you will be able to stand out. That's something that I wish I learned earlier, because I did not really want to embrace my advantages. I didn't reflect enough and think about my core advantage that would provide people value. And that was in specifically talking about how to succeed in school. I always thought that, school is not that cool, or people don't think it's cool. And I'm not even in school anymore, so am I even qualified to talk about this? But I was denying that I'm actually the person that can make academics cooler, because I approached it in a way that's not like a stereotypical nerd, So that is my unique edge, where I see people's perception about this niche, and I disagree with a lot of the things in that niche. That's a sign that there is a hole there that I could be filling. If I had embraced how great of a student I was and the special ways in which I was that good student, then I could have found success a lot sooner. At the beginning, I was making a bunch of different videos, including some vlogs, but what I learned is that you really have to consider the ROI, the return on investment of the things that you're doing. So while becoming a creator is a lot about quantity to get your reps in and to improve with each video, it's very important to think about what kind of return you are getting. So when I was vlogging, those videos would take twice as long to edit, and they would get half as many views. And that is not to say that you can't do something purely because you like it more, but that is where in the beginning, if I were to get more reps and feedback, the more effective way to do that is if I found ways to optimize my process. So that means changing to all sit-down videos like I have now. That means creating a whole inventory of B-roll that then I hired editors to use for me. But if we think about more in the early part of content creation, so, let's think a little more broadly, not just ability to hire editors, because that comes down the line. What is the ROI on having a big fancy camera? Probably not a lot when you're starting out. And Guess what? Every single video you see on my podcast channel and on my main channel with 480,000 subscribers, they're filmed on my iPhone front camera. I just plug in my mic and then I'm ready to film. Of course, for my main channel, I set it up so it looks a little bit nicer in the background. But I try to find ways in which I can be the laziest possible to still get a high enough return. So the background doesn't have to be beautiful. It doesn't have to be a flawless studio, because I reflect and understand that return on investment is not high enough. If you're interested in food videos, think of the kind of food video that you can make with the least amount of effort and highest returns. It doesn't mean it's a low effort video, but perhaps there's a format where you can put in less effort and where through those reps, you can more quickly get audience feedback and refine that format. Later, when you have more time or more resources, you can always go into more complicated video formats. When I was working as a consultant with, 60-hour work weeks, I of course had to find ways to really optimize my time to make more come out for me. And that is also why I got an editor super early. Many people to this day who are huge, like the same size as my subscriber count, they still don't have an editor. Some don't have an editor because they just really like editing themselves, but others just simply don't know how to get an editor. But I saw that getting an editor as early as possible had a really high return on investment. Thus, I spent that upfront effort to put together a statement of work, to write out emails that I would send out, finding platforms, getting samples, and that really paid off in the long run for the amount of time I saved, because especially in the early stages, it's all about strategizing and problem solving. With each video you create, you can't improve if you don't have enough time to analyze it, to do market research. You have to do a lot more of that up front, even though you still do it throughout your creation journey. Once you get your flow going, where you know exactly the kind of video to make on a weekly basis, just like I found out with my sit-down videos about school, then you have a system that you don't need to think about so much anymore. At the beginning, it is really hard because you have to wear every single hat, right? You have to be the editor, the scripter, the filmer, the analyzer, and all these things, right? And so with editing, if you can take away that responsibility, that brings you more time to be the brain of your operation. And being the brain of your channel is also what gives you the most advantage, because you are your brain, you're a unique person, and so by reflecting more on what you bring to the table, that's how you can stand out and actually grow your channel among the thousands that are popping up each week. A really big myth I'm going to debunk right now, well, that is if you believe in me. There's so many videos out there now saying you don't need a niche. Okay, that might have been a source of stress for you, thinking, oh, well, what niche do I pick? Like, how do I box myself into this one area? What if I don't want to make stuff on it in the future? So hearing those videos and seeing those titles, you don't need a niche, must be so reassuring. Yes. Okay. But guess what? All of those creators I've seen who say you don't need a niche grew their platform by literally being in a niche. These people have a following, so on first glance, you believe them. But if you search deeper, you'll realize that all their videos were about studying before. All of their videos were about how to grow an Instagram following before. Why do we need a niche? Okay, because when you turn on the TV and you have a certain go-to channel, you expect something out of that channel each time. There is some commonality and comfort within each video because you have an expectation and your expectations are met. If it's a surprise each time and the channel doesn't have some theme, then you probably wouldn't return if you saw a video you liked and then you never found a video like that again. If you want long-term success, you have to be able to meet your viewers' expectation to some degree, okay? There's a bit of nuance here. So first of all, it's all about being in a certain area of expertise and credibility, because we are in the attention economy. What makes you so special to take someone's attention for a 10-minute YouTube video? Why should they click on your video among all others? This ties into what I said earlier about how you can't just make videos about a certain topic because you're interested in the topic, right? It's about the viewer. So when you have credibility, you're saying, hey, this is not a waste of time, okay? I have this theme, this niche, and I'm going to keep delivering to help you in this area of your life. Not to mention that if you begin with the end in mind and eventually want to sell a product, how are you going to do that without a niche? Unless it's just some casual chat with a really good friend, because your viewer just loves you so much. People click on and pay money for solutions to their problems. Even comfort YouTubers like Michelle Choi solve problems, loneliness, having someone to fill the space when they are eating lunch, boredom. But pure entertainment is a hard cookie to crack because many people like her have a first mover advantage, since they're more based on, comfort and filling some hole of just being there. Then they don't actually have such a unique edge that could help them stand out and blow up a channel in today's more saturated field. Like now, even for entertainment, you need your own signature style in order to differentiate. This is especially important for longevity, which not enough people think about. This all connects together, which is why I always say to think holistically. What do you have to get out? And why do you have to be the one who gets it out? When you have an answer to that, that's your quote-unquote niche. You still have to have some theme that goes about your videos. At the beginning, especially if you're growing, you need to show viewers credibility so they keep coming back. Think about it. When I had just 1,000 subscribers and I made a study video, someone sees it, okay, great, that's an awesome study video, but they might not subscribe yet because they see my channel and it's full of the vlogs I did before. Okay, well then for my next video, I make another study video that helps that same first person. So that person comes back and realizes, oh, okay, this video is also helpful too. You know what? I think that I want to see what they have next because they seem like they can continue helping me solve this problem I have. So maybe that time they subscribe. Okay, great. So what if I post a food video, the next one? They might unsubscribe. They probably wouldn't watch it, but most of all, they might be disappointed. That is a risk you cannot take when you are a small creator because you need people to keep coming back and to build trust. Only then, after they get to know you as a person with your personality injected into your niche, will they come here for you. That's why you're the niche is not worded correctly. You're the niche only happens after you've delivered some solutions to a specific problem. And that specific problem is a niche that you will have to fill at the start. Because if you don't fill a certain niche, people cannot keep coming back, and then people cannot get to know you as a person. Once they get to know you as a person, then you are more likely able to delve into different topics because they're like, hey, I like Amy. I like how she gives advice about study videos. Maybe her thoughts and mindsets and lessons about content creation will be valuable as well. And maybe just purely on personality, oh, I like this person's basketball videos, and I've been following them for a while. Oh, wow, they posted a tennis video. I'm sure that will be great too, and I just love hearing what they have to say and the jokes that they make anyway. I just had to debunk this myth because I was struggling so much trying to make myself the niche, creating videos on going to the beach, about how to get good at math, about the metaverse, very random topics and very random formats. I thought, hey, I'm a cool person who went to Caltech. I'm sure people would like anything I say. And also, I have a consistent personality throughout all my videos. So you know what? Maybe they will just stick around for that no matter what I talk about. But I was so wrong because that's what made me spend so much effort making so many different videos for a long time. Only when I started embracing my strengths in a consistent format, realizing that that was the highest return on investment, was I able to have my entire channel blow up to reach 100,000 subscribers in about 3 months. It was insanely crazy and almost felt easier in those 3 months of insane growth than it had the whole 2 years prior to that of my YouTube journey. And that's because I followed all of the things I shared with you today about looking at your return on investment, your ROI, embracing your advantages, what do you have to share and why do you have to be the one who shares it, and that you do have to have a niche. And of course, the first one, which is being more self-sufficient, resilient, organized, and driven. I have been wanting to make this YouTube advice video for a long time, and I know that many of you have been asking me to make this video, so thank you for your patience. I know this was not the most structured. It's really still a podcast style, hence it's on this podcast channel, but I hope this is of value to you. Please rate this episode 5 stars or give it a like if you liked it. If you want to give it anything other than 5 stars, then please let me know why first in a message or a comment, because the biggest goal is just to help you all. I don't monetize this podcast at all currently, except for a little bit of AdSense on YouTube. Please share with someone who might find this helpful. Thank you so much for all of your support. It really helps me continue being able to do this. And I think we're making the world a better place together because, my goal is to help more people, and then you help me help more people, Speaking of AdSense, here's something that supports what I said earlier about needing to stay resilient. And that is that now, if you really want to be a creator, it's actually harder to earn as much money as people did before, because AdSense is actually a lot lower than it was before, as I've experienced and as a lot of my creator friends experienced. You might be thinking that's crazy because now there are 2 ads that are a minute each before your YouTube video. Trust me, I find it annoying too as someone who watches YouTube. But yeah, that's the reality, and so that's why you have to be very mission driven and resilient and know that's going to be really hard, just like I said in the beginning. Let me know what questions you still have for my future content creation advice videos. Be sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for your precious time, and keep living your A+ life.